So another week, episode 17. A little bit slow because of the Memorial holiday. But anyways, a couple of topics this week. Let's see. Elon bringing the AI home with a $6 billion investment. Revisiting Humane AI. Some interesting news there after raising $230 million. But anyways. And then, this is a little bit different than what we've normally talked about, but the DOJ suing Live Nation over, a monopoly status and how they've kind of ruined concert goers' lives. But anyways, so that's three topics this week. We'll see where it takes us.
So let's talk about our first story here, XAI. For those of you who don't know what XAI is, it's Elon's artificial intelligence arm. And as you all know, Elon is really hot and heavy on artificial intelligence now. He always has been. I mean, that's the whole thesis around full self-driving, is using artificial intelligence to drive you around. And then he was an investor and also a co-founder of OpenAI back in the day. And as we know, when OpenAI had that ousting last year of Sam Altman, there were a lot of comments from Elon as well about trying to separate from OpenAI because their mission wasn't what he had initially signed up for. And so Elon Musk recently commented that he raised $6 billion to fund his AI arm, which is XAI, and it's at an $18 billion valuation. So that's interesting because he gave away 1/3 of the company for this $6 billion. But they're from some pretty prominent and very powerful investors, including Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia Capital, the two biggest well-known, successful venture capitalist firms, Fidelity Management and Research, Valor Equity Partners, Buy Capital, the Saudi Arabian Fund, which is the same fund that we've mentioned several times before that funds Lucid Motors. And what I've said in the past is if you're funded by the Saudis, you pretty much have infinite capital. And so this is going to help advance XAI. X.com does have their own conversational bot, which is Grok. And if you subscribe to X.com, then you can use Grok. In comparison, ChatGPT last year got an investment from Microsoft for $10 billion at the beginning of last year. So this is less money raised, but that doesn't really mean anything. It just means maybe they didn't need as much money, and it also depends on the valuation rate. I don't know what ChatGPT was valued at when they raised from Microsoft. One last thing I'll mention as I open up to you, Tony, to get your thoughts. I have been seeing a few things on my LinkedIn streams related to like the Tesla layoffs, and many of the comments were around just how a reason they're doing many layoffs is to divert more attention towards their AI arm, which we've talked about. Like they're funding robotaxi more. Robotaxi depending on full self-driving. Full self-driving is AI technology, and so diverting resources towards that. Plus, in the last earnings report, Elon specifically said that they are a tech company and they have a heavy focus on AI. I think this is just another example of Elon's mind like shifting more toward just hyper-focusing on AI.
So what this actually comes to mind is not necessarily about X itself. I don't even know, like X.com, X.AI. It's the way he has his company set up is just so the naming is terrible. But what makes it is because he's getting so much pushback for his pay package on Tesla that it feels like he's just not waving the flag, but trying to increase it, like it's like a threat, right? It's like, okay, that's fine. It's like, I'm going to abandon Tesla. It's basically what it feels like. When I say abandon, meaning, right, he like that, I forget if he actually, what the tweet was, but it was like, if he doesn't get this, right, he's not putting the AI in Tesla.
Yeah, I think there's been several.
Do you remember that? And so like this, it's just weird because like previously Tesla's where his AI initiative, or where he was thinking about AI, was going to take place, right? As part of, like, our cars are basically robots. For all intents, it is going to be, controlled by AI, and it'll be able to do everything.
I don't take it as him abandoning Tesla. Though. I don't know. I hear you saying
Well,
that, like,
not abandoning Tesla per se, but like abandoning anything AI related with Tesla.
mm, yeah, I don't think that either. My read on it is Tesla AI and XAI are different beasts. Meaning, I think XAI, because it's associated with X.com,
Mm-hmm.
is more related to content and large language models and data and this whole thesis around replacing Google search. I think Tesla AI is all around robotaxis, autonomous driving, robotics, etc. I think they're very different, and
Mm.
this is more of like another parallel initiative that Elon is now starting to focus on.
I don't know.
Since we know he
Yeah,
likes to keep busy with several different things going on.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm thinking, like, all right, if you thought about what is AI and where does the power actually come from, right? I think we've talked about this in previous episodes. Like, the power of AI is really the underlying data that powers it, right? And so, yes, what X has through Twitter or whatever, data they have through Twitter is a bit unique, but the data that, I don't know, their cars have is really unique, right? And so to not combine them or find a way to leverage them together feels like that would be the biggest miss.
Hmm.
Unless you're saying the future of AI is bespoke AIs depending on the content, right? If that's the direction, then okay, maybe the argument makes sense. But like, for me, like, if you were to really think about AI, it's like, holistically, what is that single AI, right? Because you don't want to have that. It's like, all right, I want to write a story, so I go to story AI, right? Or it's like, okay, I want to do photo editing, I go to photo editing AI. I don't think that's the direction companies might look
Yeah.
at.
No, I
Or
agree with you. I
there's
think
no, there's no power in it, right? It's like, all right, so I have a photo editing AI, great. I mean, but that's not what all these huge platforms do, right? They're looking for ways on how can you create synergy across all your different platforms to have a singular piece of AI, right? Because that is what is going to make you unique. But
I agree. I agree with you on that point. But I don't think him getting an investment in XAI like doesn't set the holistic goal up for that long term.
we'll see if his pay package doesn't get approved, what he does. He's made that threat, right?
Work.
It's like,
It
I don't
doesn't.
get my pay package, I am not going to work on AI for
Yeah.
Tesla.
I've been seeing a lot of like ads from Tesla around, not ads, but just like marketing from Tesla around, you know, advocating for people to vote to approve Elon's
Mm-hmm.
shareholder package. And in the case that it does get approved, what's your prediction there? Like, is he then left with this bag?
Then I think what he'll do is he'll take what they're doing with Grok
Hmm.
and find a way to use it in Tesla.
Yeah, and that's the point. Like, I agree there, and I think that's the longer term vision. I just don't think
Well, I'm saying if he doesn't get his package, that might not be part of that vision anymore.
uh, if he doesn't get approved, I think Tesla's shares are going to drop pretty significantly.
Yeah.
So just gotta watch that falling knife, and maybe that's another hit your $100 entry point. Although, if we're thinking Elon's gonna spend less time in Tesla, if it doesn't get approved, then maybe your $100 buy point
Oh,
lowers,
yeah.
right?
Mhm. No.
Or maybe it's not even a buy anymore. And so we just need to watch it.
Who knows? 5 years from now, maybe. We'll see.
Well, okay.
Right.
It's a good conversation and debate derived from our initial talk about investing into XAI. And so $6 billion, $18 billion valuation. I guess we'll see what happens in the next year. And then we'll also see, dependent on if Elon gets his pay package, the developments of XAI.
So
Personally, I'm still pretty hot and I'm still liking ChatGPT and OpenAI.
Mm-hmm.
Although over the weekend, I did see a tweet that was getting a lot of engagement because they asked ChatGPT how many R's are in the word strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? Do you know how many words are in the word strawberry?
Strawberry 3.
ChatGPT will respond to.
I really.
so,
Because of berry?
so I tried it out myself, and yep,
Huh?
I could too.
Huh.
So
Yeah, LLMs aren't generally good with like numbers and counting.
the reason why I called out Google earlier was because the other one that showed up on my viral streams was how someone searched on how to make cheese sticky or stick more to their pizza,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they were asking for like cooking advice, and so they got the whole Gemini blurb at the top, and I recommended
Mm-hmm.
Glue.
Yeah, glue is the trendy thing. I think there are a lot of things, but then there's a lot of fake stuff out there too. People
Yeah,
are just making up stuff, but it's to be expected, I guess.
it is to be expected. At the same time, I guess that's what's gonna cause these different competitors to win, right? Is how so it's all about that user experience. And so,
Yeah.
from a ChatGPT perspective, I've been having a good user experience, which is why I continue to use it. But that strawberry thing, yeah, it's like, dang it. Now I've lost trust in
Yeah.
ChatGPT, and my answers are good because on my ChatGPT, I have this personal setting where I want it to tell me its confidence level every time it gives me
Mm-hmm.
an answer.
Mm-hmm.
And for that answer, it said confidence 100%. that
Really.
there's there's 2 R's in strawberry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I would never use any of these for any like factual based things. Like I would only use them for creative stuff. That way I wouldn't have to necessarily worry.
Yeah.
Or it's just like the technology is not there, right? And to be frank, like LLMs really aren't built for that. I mean, right? It's like sequential guessing what the next thing should be. And so it's like until that's solved or something else comes along that it's not necessarily, it doesn't operate that way. But for now, it's more like creative type things or to help you like figure out just like back and forth, right? But not necessarily like I wouldn't use it for like financial analysis or like,
Assess your health.
yeah, yeah. But anyways, I mean, that's just LLMs. I'm sure there are other things,
Yeah.
AI more broadly, that's a little more. But anyways, speaking of AI, more AI stuff. So the Humane AI company that makes that little human, whatever, the AI assistant, trying to create the new category, has been looking to sell themselves, has been looking to find a buyer to sell themselves. Surprisingly, they are looking for between 750 and $1 billion for somebody to pay for them. And I'm like, what are they thinking? It's like, I get it. Their VCs are probably like, we need to get money back on our 250 million. So you guys better sell for $1 billion. I'm like, good luck. I can't imagine any company winning it. Like $1 billion is it's like not a drop in the bucket. Like there's not that many companies that would be able to even think about buying that for $1 billion. YouTube was about $1 billion when it was sold. Twitch was also about $1 billion when it was sold, and it's like they're asking for $1 billion for this piece of hardware that's basically whatever, a mobile chip. Even though this was the other one, but I assume Humana is probably just a mobile chip operating some bespoke Google, like not Google, like Android thing, right?
Like,
And it's not actually, yeah, it's not actually a proprietary system they built. I don't know.
well, I was trying to look
Again,
up. I don't know if you know. I was trying to look up what AI models do they use? Do they use their own or do they use something else?
yeah.
Do you know?
I don't know. I just assume it's ChatGPT.
Yeah, because if there is something there related to the AI algorithms themselves, I mean that could add value. It just depends on how good it is.
Maybe.
It's interesting, like following this story, and I just when you started off, I was like, oh, this episode is going to be titled AI drama. It's like First it was AI Wars, then it was an AI Showdown, and now
There's drama.
drama. Yeah, this particular one has been interesting to follow. As I was reading some other things about it, people point towards Marquise Brownlee around did he cause this, for example?
Yeah.
Because his video where he just absolutely tear them apart
Mm-hmm.
really went viral, and but quite honestly, I mean, no, I don't think I think he contributed. He highlighted the problems with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he prevented people from actually buying it, but at the end of the day, it comes down to user experience and people getting it just were not impressed and it didn't
Yeah.
solve a problem. And like you said in a
Yeah.
previous episode, you felt they were launching a product to find a problem versus solving a problem by launching a product.
Yeah.
And I think what we've clearly seen here is they launched a month ago, fell dead. There is no
Yeah.
problem. And so
Yep.
they launched a product, found a problem, and now they're not you're scrambling to um,
Abandoned ship.
abandon ship. So yeah, something to know too is Sam Altman, who's OpenAI CEO, is an investor into Humane AI. I would assume one of the people they're courting is Microsoft slash OpenAI, but
Maybe, but
I don't think I don't think they would buy them.
it wouldn't make sense. Not. Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft could build their own.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. It to me it makes no sense, especially with their Copilot Plus PC launch, right? I mean, that's their focus right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A bit more bigger scale, existing category versus this is like I
I'll
don't know.
actually
I'm hesitant to even call it a new category. It's like a made up category.
I'd actually predict Microsoft's probably already working on something similar because Microsoft exited the phone market
Mm-hmm.
back when they realized that they couldn't compete with Apple and Google,
Mm-hmm.
and we know they've been working on Hololens within the wearable market, and so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft already has something like this in the works, but they don't
Yeah,
want to
I'm
announce
sure.
anything yet.
Yeah. Or they don't need something bespoke. I mean, it's like built. I mean, Copilot's built into Bing. It's built into this new PC, right? And so it's just like needing a yeah.
I
I'm
think
sure they'd rather you have Copilot plus PC, just because it gives them more like real estate to do things.
I agree with you. I think though, as part of growth, right? Where are other opportunities to grow, and they don't have anything in like the mobile category, if you will. So they don't have a phone. They don't have necessarily any wearables right now. So it just could be something that's in that category
Maybe.
to continue growing. So yeah, well, we'll see what happens with this acquisition. I think if anything's going to happen, it has probably if they're selling, that means that they're in danger of you know dying, especially with the flop of their launch. And so I
Yeah,
think something needs to happen within the next 3 to 6 months here, or those investors
yeah, 'cause
kiss their
yeah,
$230 million goodbye.
yeah. Unless they've got some incredible IP underneath this thing, like I can't see anybody else throwing more money into it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So we'll see.
All right. Let's
Maybe
bring
they
it.
get 10 million.
What's that?
Maybe they get 10 million
10 million.
if the IP is unique enough.
All right. Let's bring it home with this last story. A little bit different, but still within the tech realm. DOJ, Department of Justice, is going after another big monopoly, and that monopoly is in ticketing, specifically like concert tickets and event tickets. And so that's Live Nation. The DOJ, Department of Justice, is suing Live Nation slash Ticketmaster because they are the same company. They merged many years ago. They're suing them over monopoly. Live Nation slash Ticketmaster, they control 85% of the ticketing market, especially when it comes to concerts. That's their biggest line of business. And yeah, they want to break that apart because monopolies are not good for the economy. And one of the things that this monopoly allows them to do is charge audacious fees. And many of you listening have bought tickets through Ticketmaster. We've by necessity, right? That's really the only place you can buy tickets. And once you get to the checkout line, you get these fees that can be upwards of $100. I've seen just for buying a ticket through Ticketmaster. And in general, President Biden recently did state that he wanted to crack down on fees because fees hurt the economy, meaning fees make it hard for people to purchase. And over the years, many companies have been employing more fee tactics as a way to, I would say, as a way to like bait and hook in some ways. Like you start purchasing something, you get all the way down to the checkout, and then you're ready to buy and you see a fee. And at that point, you mostly made up your mind that you want to buy this thing. And so most people will just continue with the purchase and just accept the fee. Or if there's no other way to get that item, for example, Ticketmaster, then you're forced to pay the fee. Another popular one is airlines. So I know the story was mostly about the monopoly, but fees are a big part of why this monopoly is problematic for people in the US specifically and globally. But the DOJ is doing that. And lastly, while this is going on, Ticketmaster also had a data breach. 560 million users affected. So if you are a Ticketmaster user, which you probably are, just go change your password. All right, so I brought the story to the table. One, just to raise awareness of what's going on with Ticketmaster and Live Nation in general. But I was actually more interested in talking a bit about fees because both you and I, as experience, we've dealt with fees a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at our previous working environment, there was always this crackdown on fees because homeowners would just list several fees,
Mm-hmm.
just to jack up, price and
Yeah.
find a loophole around it, right? Or find a workaround around
Yeah.
charging less on the search page, but then getting more once a user got
Yeah.
to checkout. So yeah, I mean, I transitioned from into fees, but in general, what are your thoughts around everything?
The monopoly thing. I don't think it helped because I feel like the big issue was around Taylor Swift, right? And scalpers buying tickets and then, whatever, 5xing them. I think that's been the ongoing issue with Ticketmaster is they haven't found or really done anything to prevent ticket prices from being exorbitantly inflated due to scalpers and resellers. I think really that's, I mean, fees, yes, but I think the other side is really the actual cost of the tickets being sold, and they're just kind of well, because they have this monopoly. It's like, all right, well, we don't care because we're getting paid our fees,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I think I haven't read through whatever the DOJ's like suit, but I that has been the ongoing thing with Ticketmaster is they just really haven't done anything to address it, right? And I think that's what you
Yeah.
find with monopolies is that because they are the only ones, they're just like as long as we're making money, we don't really care. And
Yeah.
of course, Taylor Swift being the biggest thing out there, right? When her fans aren't able to buy tickets at what they should be should be priced at, you're gonna have a bad
I
day.
was going to bring in that context around the Taylor Swift. When tickets for Eras tours went live, it was supposed to have been reserved for like her best fans, right? But
Yeah, yeah,
it was sold out, in minutes, and a lot of people who got them, as you said, were scalpers that wanted to turn
yeah,
them around for a huge
yeah,
profit.
yeah,
And yes, because Ticketmaster is the only place you can get them, there's nothing anyone could do.
yeah. But yeah, and then like fees in general. I think it depends, right? I mean, there is a cost of business, and because some of these services, well, I guess a lot of these services, even like Ticketmaster, Uber is probably the most next well-known one that
Oh yeah,
people are probably familiar
Uber
with. Uber
Eats.
Eats, right?
That's the only reason
Uber,
I don't use Uber Eats is because I get to the checkout and then fees are like double my price basically.
The fees add up, but it's like a balance. It's like because these a lot of these platforms or services do provide some service. It's like what is the right amount of fees that they should be charging, right? Like Uber Eats as an example, right? Because they're actually collecting on both sides. They're charging the providers and then they're charging the users,
Mhm.
which then it feels like, oh, well, you guys are double dipping. It's like what 30 to 50% on the restaurant side, and then however much on like our consumer side.
Usually like
And
5
so
to
it's like,
10% on the consumer side.
yeah, right. And so it's like, wow, you guys are taking a big chunk. And so I think to me, it's like, what is that right number to where the company itself, of course they need to make profit, but like how much profit should they be necessarily making? And I think I mean, you see this across anything. So I'm trying to not generalize and bucket them as like fees overall, but there's definitely different types of business models where fees feel like you probably don't need to charge that much. Or like, what are you actually doing?
One thing I was going to respond to that you said early on was how much does a company charge determine how to charge for fees? And my answer to that or an opinion on it is however much the user will pay for fees, as high as
Sure.
you go, right?
High demand, what the market
Yeah,
can bear.
yeah.
Sure.
For you, I actually had launched a fee at a previous company of mine. It was
Hmm.
a marketplace and it was a demand side fee. So
Yeah.
basically, typical like generally in marketplaces, the way marketplaces work is you take, like you said, Uber. They take a percentage from the business side of the marketplace. Usually,
Hmm.
that's around. It could be as low as 10. It could be as high as 30%,
Hmm.
and that's usually where people start. But then, yes, like a marketplace standard construct is double sided fees. So you need to charge a fee to the other side of the marketplace as well. And so that's the fee that I was tasked to launch was the demand side fee.
Hmm.
And I think like something that you said, like quite honestly, it is just a way for companies to make more profit. But at the same time,
Hmm.
companies want to make more profit, want to make more money so that they can grow more.
Yep.
And the way that they grow more is they hire more, right? Or spend more
Yep.
into marketing. And
Hmm.
both of those things require money. So that is why companies charge, fees and percentages to get more money to grow more.
Yeah.
But when I launched that fee, it was just more of a matter of testing different percentages and seeing how
Hmm.
that impacted conversion.
Yep.
And then as time goes on, like fees get higher, right? Once it's the status quo, then you're probably familiar with getting an email from your favorite product or company saying, "Oh, we're raising the price." Subscriptions, as an example, right? Subscriptions aren't really fees; they are the business model. But
Hmm.
Netflix, Disney, Hulu, all these companies, they continue to raise their subscription price every year, even
Yeah.
Amazon Prime.
Yep.
And that is just the way of making more money, but also, I guess, dealing with inflation. So yeah, I think I don't like fees. I don't like paying fees. I wonder what a world would look like if the US regulated fees much more heavier. At the same time, that is why the US is like a strong capitalist country
Yeah.
where people have a lot of freedom to make a lot of money, and fees is one way to do that. But in this case of Live Nation and Ticketmaster, man, I think it is crazy because I'm sure everyone has observed that ticket prices are so expensive these days. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with this one. I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like whenever I see a Monopoly suit, it just doesn't go anywhere. It's like
Years.
it's like the government, the Department of Justice raises, like, does the Monopoly suit. It makes big news, and then I feel like whenever I see these, they don't actually break up companies, but they do maybe influence how companies operate a bit.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
that's probably
Yeah.
what this.
Buy stock.
What's that?
It's like what was it when they brought a suit against Apple, right? Apple
Yeah,
stock dipped just a little bit, and now it's closing in on all-time high again. But the suit is ongoing.
wasn't there
So
a
maybe you
suit?
should buy Live Nation. What is Live Nation at?
Wasn't there a dispute with Microsoft and its acquisition of Activision, and
Yeah,
it still went through?
yeah, and that's going through. Yeah, Live Nation stock doing okay,
Yeah.
doing okay. Not too far off of all-time highs. Well, I say that, but it's like what 10% off. 100, no, 93 all-time high, 127. Okay, we'll see.
We shall see. All right. Well, this was a good episode, AI drama, but also general drama. We had some good dramatic conversations as well. So that's a good theme for this episode. But yeah, like subscribers, thank you for your comments. Continue to follow us, listen to us, and every week we put on a show talking about your latest tech-focused news. So yeah, great talking to you again, Tony. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.